The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. Introduction. Hey there, fellow navigators of life's wild financial seas. Welcome back to Book Navigator, your trusty compass for charting the uncharted territories of great reads that can rewrite your future. I'm your host, and today, we're setting sail on a journey that's not just about money, it's about freedom, the kind that lets you wake up without that knot in your stomach, staring at a boss you can't stand, or bills that feel like chains. We're diving deep into The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins, a book that's like a heartfelt letter from a wise dad to his daughter, packed with no-nonsense, wisdom that cuts through the wall, street fog like a hot knife through butter. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the avalanche of get-rich-quick schemes, robo-advisors promising the moon, or that nagging voice whispering, "Will I ever retire without eating cat food?" This is your lifeline. J.L. Collins doesn't peddle fairy tales. He delivers a roadmap so straightforward, it'll make you wonder why anyone complicates it. And here's the best part. For this episode, to make it digestible and actionable without losing a drop of its magic, I'm breaking down this gem into 7 crystal-clear chapters. We'll cover every inch of the book, from taming your spending demons to unleashing the power of index funds, all while sprinkling in real examples from Collins' own stories that hit you right in the feels. Picture this. You're not just listening, you're transforming. By the end, you'll have the tools to build your own FU money, that glorious bufferware. You can flip the bird to a toxic job and chase what lights your soul on fire. Stick with me through these 7 chapters, and I promise, you'll finish feeling empowered, excited, and maybe even a little teary-eyed at the simplicity of it all. We've got emotional highs, gut-punch realities, and triumphs that scream, "You got this." So grab your coffee, hit that like button if you're ready to level up, and subscribe for more navigations that turn pages into paychecks. Let's roll. Chapter 1 awaits, where we uncover why this path isn't just simple. It's your ticket to a life unchained. Chapter 1. The Wake-Up Call. Why financial independence isn't a dream. It's a choice. Imagine scrolling through your feed late at night, heart sinking as you see friends jetting off to Bali, while you're glued to your desk, dreaming of escape. That ache? It's universal, and it's exactly where J.L. Collins starts his letters to his daughter, right in the gut of our shared American hustle. In this first chapter of our breakdown, we're peeling back the curtain on why wealth isn't about lumbos or lottery wins. It's about reclaiming your time, your sanity, and yeah, maybe a spontaneous road trip without the guilt. Collins kicks off with a bang. No Hummer, no Lexus. It's his rallying cry against the consumer trap that's got so many of us, myself included, back in my broke 20s, chasing shiny distractions that leave us broke and bitter. Feel that fire igniting in your chest? That's the hook. This isn't theory. It's the spark that could light up your entire financial future, turning envy into envy-proof abundance. Let's lean in close, because this hits hard. Collins shares a story from his early days, fresh out of college. Eyes wide at the allure of that first adult paycheck. He could have splurged on a status symbol ride, but instead, he chose the quiet power of restraint. The Hummer, he writes, isn't wealth. It's debt in camouflage. Feel that? It's the sting of regret for every impulse buy that's ever haunted your credit card statement. The late-night what-ifs that keep you tossing. But here's the hook that keeps you glued. What if saying no to the noise today meant yes to everything tomorrow? Yes to family dinners without checking the balance. Yes to passions that pay in joy, not just dollars. Collins isn't preaching from a yacht. He's a guy who's walked the wobbly tightrope of life, raising a family on a journalist's salary, proving that simplicity isn't sacrifice, it's strategy wrapped in the warm, relatable humor that makes you chuckle even as your resolve hardens. As we transition from that raw vulnerability to the broader horizon, let's zoom out to the bigger picture that Collins paints with such vivid strokes. Financial independence, or FI as the cool kids call it, isn't some elite club for tech bros in Silicon Valley or lottery winners in Vegas. It's for the single mom juggling 2 jobs in Ohio, scraping by on ramen and resolve. The teacher in Texas eyeing early retirement to travel with her kids, trading chalk dust for sunsets. Or you, right now, pausing this video to jot down your first savings goal. heart pounding with possibility. Collins lays it bare. Wealth equals income, spending, compounded over time. Simple math, profound impact, like a snowball rolling downhill, gathering unstoppable momentum. He illustrates with his daughter's own path, watching her navigate college loans and first job, temptations, reminding us that this isn't abstract theory. It's personal, urgent, laced with the fierce love of wanting better for those we cherish. The kind that brings a lump to your throat because, damn, doesn't everyone deserve that shot? But hold on, don't drift off just yet, because the real magic starts bubbling up here, pulling you deeper into the narrative. What if I told you that the stock market, that scary beast lurking under the bed for so many Americans, is actually your loyal steed, ready to carry you to horizons you never dared dream? Collins teases it here, planting seeds of excitement that bloom later in the book, but he grounds it in grit. He recounts a pivotal moment, crashing through the '08 market meltdown, heart pounding as his portfolio tanked 50%, the world crumbling like a house of cards. Yet he held firm, fingers trembling on the keyboard, but soul steady. Why? Because he knew the game. Volatility isn't the villain. Panic is the real thief, stealing your future in a frenzy of fear. That story, it saved him from selling low, turning potential ruin into a roaring recovery that rebuilt not just his nest egg, but his unshakable faith. Feel the adrenaline surging through you? That's the emotion fueling this chapter. Fear morphing into fierce determination. The kind that makes you fist pump and whisper, I can do this too. Now, easing into the mechanics with the grace of a storyteller who's got your full attention. Collins demystifies the why behind the path, blending facts with feelings that resonate. Across diners in Detroit and beaches in Florida, Americans, we're wired for instant gratification, Amazon Prime at our fingertips. Black Friday blitzes turning malls into battlegrounds, but he flips the script with humor that lands like a warm hug from an old friend. Dead is normal? Lies. He quips, echoing the cultural Kool-Aid we've all sipped too deeply. The societal script that says keep up or give up. His example cuts deep. A buddy who financed a boat, dreaming of salty breezes, only to dock it and used while payments drowned his dreams like an anchor in a storm. Ouch. That twist of irony stings, doesn't it? But then the uplift comes, swift and sweet. Collins' own portfolio, built brick by boring brick through weekends free from worry, hitting 7 figures not through wizardry or insider tips, but through the quiet discipline of choices that compound like love in a long marriage. As we wrap this foundation, let's linger on the emotional core that ties it all together, the heartbeat pulsing through every page. Collins writes to his daughter with tears in the eyes tenderness, urging her to build a life of choices, not chains, a father's plea, wrapped in financial savvy that tugs at your heartstrings because who hasn't wished for that guidance in their own chaotic climb? It's a reminder that behind the numbers lies legacy, the soft glow of security passed down like a family heirloom. This chapter isn't just setup. It's your mirror, reflecting the power you hold to rewrite your story, to step from spectator to star in your own epic. And as we sail toward Chapter 2, where we tackle the beast of spending, less than we earn with tools that feel like superpowers, carry this spark close. Your simple path starts with one defiant no to the Hummer, to the hype, to the have-nots dictating your worth. You've got the map. Now, let's plot the course and chase the horizon together. Chapter 2, Taming the Spend, the art of living rich on less. Breathe deep, because if Chapter 1 lit the fire under your FI dreams with that electric wake-up call, this one's the oxygen keeping it roaring, fanning flames into a blaze that warms your soul and fattens your wallet. Picture the relief of glancing at your bank app, not with dread twisting your gut, like a bad burrito, but with delight, balance climbing like a kid on a jungle gym, each rung a step toward the freedom you've been craving. J.L. Collins dives headfirst into the heartbeat of wealth building. Spending less than you earn. It's not about monk-like misery or joyless penny pinching. It's liberation in disguise. A sly wink from the universe saying, less stuff, more life. And oh boy, does he make it sing with stories that mirror our chaotic, credit card swiping lives, pulling you in with hooks that whisper, this could be you, rich in time. Not just treasure, Remember, that time you justified a $200 sneaker splurge because you deserved it after that hellish week? Collins gets it. He's been there. Coffee-fueled and impulse-blind, staring at a closet full of regrets. But he turns the page with a grin that invites you to laugh at the absurdity. The real luxury? Freedom from the bill that follows like a bad hangover. Let's hook you right in with his golden rule, delivered with the punch of a best friend's tough love. Track your spending like a hawk eyeing dinner. Because ignorance isn't bliss, it's bankruptcy in slow motion. He shares a laugh-out-loud tale of his pre-enlightenment days, tallying receipts in a frenzy after realizing his frugal lifestyle was secretly funding someone else's yacht club. The numbers jumping out like ghosts from a bad dream. The emotion surges, that mix of embarrassment flushing your cheeks and empowerment, straightening your spine as truths reveal themselves in black and white. Cash flow is king, he declares. And suddenly, you're nodding along, envisioning your own audit under the glow of your phone screen, heart racing with the thrill of discovery. For the American dreamer buried under student loans and rising rents, from the bustling streets of New York to the quiet suburbs of Kansas, this is gospel. Cut the fat, not the joy. Ditch the daily latte from that overpriced corner shop. Nah, brew at home with a playlist that turns mornings into rituals. And savor the savings as your travel fund swells like a promise kept. Each dollar a vote for the adventures ahead. Transitioning smoothly. Because life's too short for jarring shifts that leave you queasy. Collins weaves in the psychology that keeps us hooked, layer by layer, like unraveling a cozy mystery. We're emotional spenders at heart. He says, stress buying gadgets to numb the grind of 9 to 5 drudgery, only to compound the chaos with interest that bites like winter wind. His example lands with a thud you feel in your bones. A family vacation funded by credit cards flashing like fool's gold. Joy soured by post-trip debt dread that lingers like a fog over Thanksgiving dinner. Feel the heartache, that hollow pang of what if we'd waited. It's real raw, the kind that makes you pause and hug your loved ones a little tighter. But then the pivot hits, swift as dawn breaking. Collins' enough philosophy, where gratitude trumps greed like sunlight scattering shadows. He recounts weekends hiking with his daughter through crunchy autumn leaves. Costs nil, but memories priceless, stirring that warm, wistful pull towards simpler joys that make your eyes mist over. Because isn't that the richness we've all been chasing in the wrong aisles? But wait, don't fast forward through the good stuff. The meaty bits are coming, packed with flavor that'll have you savoring every word. He breaks down budgeting without the boredom of spreadsheets that scream, adulting sucks, using his shockingly simple system that's more art than algebra. Just ensure outflows lag inflows. Automating the magic so your money marches to investments before temptation can whisper sweet nothings. Imagine the thrill, that electric buzz. Paycheck hits your account like clockwork. Half vanishes to your future self before the weekend sales emails ping, leaving you with just enough for guilt-free fun. His daughter's story anchors it all. A young woman resisting peer pressure. Purchases at trendy brunches. Building her nest egg with quiet pride that shines through his letters like pride in a parent's voice at graduation. That's the emotion, pride swelling like a tide, washing away scarcity fears and leaving you buoyant, ready to float toward dreams deferred no longer. As we flow into the practical punches that pack real power, Collins tackles lifestyle creep, that sneaky thief stealing your future one raise at a time, slipping in like fog through cracked windows. Earn more? Save more. He urges with the fervor of a coach spotting untapped potential. Sharing a Vietnam vet pal's yarn of frugality, forging fortune from foxholes to fat stacks. A tale of grit that grips you, evoking respect and a quiet vow to honor your own battles. Laughter bubbles up at his quips. Cars depreciate faster than your ex's affection, lightening the load. But beneath it simmers urgency. In a nation where 78% live paycheck to paycheck, tethered to the treadmill of just one more month. This is your rebellion, your middle finger to the machine, scripted with steps that feel achievable, even exhilarating, easing toward the horizon with the ease of a river finding its way. He spotlights the joy multiplier that turns frugality into feast. Experiences over stuff, every time. A modest home with a backyard fire pit for mores and stories. Epic adventures that etch lines of laughter on your face. Collins lives it, his voice crackling with the joy of a life unencumbered, inviting you to feel the wind in your hair on a budget bike ride, not dust gathering on forgotten toys in a too-big garage. This chapter pulses with hope, turning less into more. More time for sunrises with coffee. More love poured into relationships that matter. More you emerging from the clutter like a phoenix from ash. And as we bridge to Chapter 3's Debt Showdown, where we arm ourselves for the fight of our financial lives, hold this truth close to your heart. Your wallet's whisper today echoes in tomorrow's roar. A symphony of choices composing the life you deserve. Ready to sharpen your sword? The dragon awaits, but so does your victory. Chapter 3. Slaying the Debt Dragon, from Chains to Wings. Oh, the weight. That invisible anchor dragging your dreams to the depths. Cold and unyielding as it pulls you under with every minimum payment. If spending less sparked your savings flame with that addictive rush of control, this chapter fans it into a bonfire. Because nothing liberates like ditching debt. That soul-sucking specter haunting American bedrooms from sea to shining sea. J.L. Collins doesn't sugarcoat the battle. He charges in with empathy-fueled fury, calling debt the monster under the bed that's feasting on families, gnawing at peace like termites in a foundation. Feel that chill creeping up your spine? It's the $1.7 trillion in student loans crushing millennials' hopes. The credit card noose tightening around necks in Rust Belt towns and sunny suburbs alike. But here's your retention hook. Sharp as a lifeline tossed in a storm. What if I said you could torch it all? Emerging lighter, fiercer, ready to fly with wings forged in fire? Collins' stories aren't distant fables. They're your mirror, urging with a voice roughened by his own scars. You've got the sword, swing it, and taste the sweet air of freedom. Starting soft, because dragons need sizing up before the strike. He dissects the beasts with surgical precision. Good debt, a mortgage at 3% fueling a family haven. Versus evil, 24% APR credit cards devouring dreams like wildfire. His example slices deep, a friend's harmless car loan, shining new and gleaming under showroom lights, snowballing into skipped vacations, resentment brewing like storm clouds over a marriage on the rocks. The emotion crashes over you, regret's bitter bite, that hollow echo of, I thought, it would make me happy, but Collins flips it with hope's dawn breaking through. Warm and insistent. Debt's optional. Freedom's inevitable if you fight smart. He shares his own purge. Post-divorce in the quiet aftermath of shattered vows. Scraping pennies from couch cushions to zero-out balances. Emerging with tears of triumph. Streaming down his face as the last statement read, paid in full. It's visceral, that release. Like shedding soaked clothes after a relentless downpour, skin tingling with new life. And it hits you square in the chest, doesn't it? Because we've all been there, or fear we will be. Transitioning with a steady hand that guides without rush. Like a trusted guide through fog-shrouded woods. Let's arm you for the fray with tactics that feel less like warfare and more like empowerment. Collins loves the avalanche. Method, highest interest first. 4. Math's merciless logic. A calculated assault that minimizes the bleed. But he nods with understanding to the snowball's motivational mojo, where quick wins build momentum like cheers from a crowd. Picture his daughter's first credit card temptation. That glossy invite to build credit, landing like a serpent in the mail. Nipped in the bud with dad's tale of a $10,000 hole dug in foolish youth. Filled with years of sweat and side gigs that left calluses but built character. Laughter mingles with resolve as he mocks the buy now. Pay later traps peddled like candy. It's buy now, cry later, and regret forever. For you, the overworked dad in Florida sweating under the sun, or the barista in Seattle juggling lattes and loans. This is battle cry incarnate. List your debts on a napkin if you must. Attack relentlessly with every extra dollar like arrows from a quiver. Celebrate small wins with high fives in the mirror. Not happy hours that hollow the victory. But pause here. Let the heartstrings tug a little longer. Because this is where Collins' voice cracks with the vulnerability that binds us all. Debt's shame cycle, he confesses. Whispers, you're failing in the dark hours. silencing dreams and dimming the spark in your eyes, turning partners into co-conspirators in quiet despair. His counter? Grace, poured out like balm on wounds. Forgive past you. Fuel future you with the fire of what's possible. Example: a reader turned friend who clawed from bankruptcy's abyss, house foreclosed, pride pulverized, to FI warrior, her voice cracking in, gratitude-filled emails that recount, barbecues with kids she can now afford to feed dreams. Feel the goosebumps rising, that electric shiver of connection? That's the spark keeping you here. Nodding fiercely, my turn to rise, to rewrite the ending, flowing onward like a river carving canyons. Unstoppably gentle yet profound, he tackles the biggies, student loans that loom like mountains, mortgages that anchor or uplift, with nuance that feels like wisdom earned in trenches. Refinance when rates dip like a gift from the gods. Absolutely, but preach owning your home humbly, not as status symbol, but sanctuary. His modest abode story unfolds like a cozy fireside yarn, debt-free walls echoing with laughter, hosting barbecues that bind souls tighter than any vault, the scent of grilled burgers mingling with stories swapped under stars. Emotion swells here, a tide of belonging over bling, washing away the illusion that bigger equals better, leaving you with a soft ache for roots that run deep. As we near the chapter's crest, breath steadying after the climb, Collins warns of relapse with the caring caution of a survivor. Build that emergency fund first. A moat around your castle, then unleash the siege. His '08 crash buffer? A lifesaver in the deluge, turning terror to tenacity as markets hemorrhaged. But his resolve held like oak in gale. This isn't dry advice etched in ledgers. It's a pep talk from a mentor who's bled, bandaged, and battled back, his words wrapping around you like armor. Bridging to stock's wild ride in Chapter 4, where the market roars to life. Exhale deep. Debt slain, you're unburdened. Portfolio poised like a sprinter at the line. The dragon's dust settles, your wings beat free, carrying you toward skies unchained. Who's ready to soar, heart alight with the wind of what's next? Chapter 4, Decoding the Stock Market. Your user's manual to the beast. Heart racing yet? That familiar thrum of anticipation building like thunder on the horizon? From Debt's dungeon, where chains clattered to the floor in glorious defeat, we leap into the stock market's electric arena, raw, unpredictable, exhilarating as a roller coaster's first drop. J.L. Collins grabs your hand with a grip that's equal parts steady and sparking, eyes twinkling with mischief as he declares, "It's not a casino rigged against you. It's your wealth engine, humming with the power of human ingenuity." This chapter's your user manual, stripping away the jargon jungle to reveal a machine that's minted millionaires from every day, folks like the factory worker in Michigan or the nurse in California, turning spare change into symphonies of security, hook locked tight, pulling you to the edge of your seat. Ever wondered why the market's crashes are secret sales racks, discounting your future at prices that scream bargain? Collins proves it with terror-taming tales and triumphs that'll have you cheering. From your couch, fist raised in defiant joy, ease in gently, like dipping toes into a rushing stream before the plunge. Because Collins knows, the water's cold at first, stocks are ownership slices in companies. From Apple's innovation, empire-birthing gadgets that connect worlds to Walmart's everyday grind, stocking shelves with the stuff of life. His opener hooks with humility, his first share buy, palms sweaty as a kid's on prom night, world tilting as prices dipped like a bad joke landing flat. By fear, he learned, echoing Buffett's gravelly wisdom passed down like lore. The lessons sinking in with the weight of epiphany. Feel the pulse quickening in your veins. That's the thrill of entry. The fear you'll conquer step by shaky step, transforming into the fuel for fortunes. Transitioning to the why with the flow of a river widening to sea. He paints history's canvas in bold, breathtaking strokes. Since 1802, stocks have averaged 7% real returns annually, outpacing inflation's sneaky thief that erodes savings like waves on sandcastles. Example, that single dollar invested back then? It'd be $700,000 today. A testament to time's alchemy that stirs wonder and a touch of awestruck humility. But the dips, 1929's great crash shattering illusions. 2000s.com bust popping bubbles. 2008's financial. Armageddon swallowing homes. Those gut punches test souls, leaving scars that whisper, never again. Collins. '08 holdout grips you. Watching 50% evaporate like mist in morning sun. Stomach churning with the world's unraveling. Yet rebounding 400% in the phoenix rise that followed. Rebuilding not just wealth, but worldview. Awe crashes over you, mingled with the quiet thrill of, I could weather that too. Resilience's reward tasting, sweeter than any quick win. Now, the meaty core unfolds. Volatility's not villainy, but vitality. The wiggle that weeds out the weak-hearted. The market's a drunk stumbling home. Collins quips with a chuckle that echoes in your ears, lightening the load of charts and cycles. But he dives deep. Bull markets charge like stampedes. Bears hibernate in caves of caution. And through it all, the long arc bends upward, powered by innovation's endless march. His example? The '87 Black Monday plunge, 22% in a day, a heart-stopping freefall that had him glued to screens. Breath held, yet recovery roared back, proving panic's the poison, patience the antidote. Emotion surges, that nail-biting tension giving way to triumphant exhale. The bond of shared survival with generations who held fast. But linger here, because the hook sharpens. Collins demystifies myths with myth-busting zeal, like a detective cracking cases. Stock picking? A loser's game. 85% of pros underperforming indexes per S&P reports. Their crystal balls fogged by ego. Timing? Even harder. Missing the best days guts returns by half. His story, a colleague chasing sure things. Portfolio flatlining while. Collins' simple bet on the haystack haywired into haymakers. Laughter at the folly, but undercurrent of relief. I don't need to be a genius. I just need to show up. Flowing to the human element. Because numbers alone chill the blood. He spotlights psychology's pitfalls. Greed's siren song and booms. Fear's freeze and busts. Example. .com fever gripping his circle. Friends dumping life savings into pets.com. Only to watch it vaporize. Tears at kitchen tables. Lessons etched in loss. Feel the sorrow, then the stealing. Collins' ritual of ignoring headlines. Trusting the math. Emerging wiser, wealthier. As the chapter crests like a wave about to break, he arms you with mindset. Invest as if the market's closed for a decade, because it might as well be. His daughter's first fund transfer. Small but seismic, sparks pride in his prose. A father's joy beaming through. Bridging to index funds glory in Chapter 5. Catch your breath. The beast tamed. Manual in hand. Engine purring. Who's ready to rev it up? Wind whipping. Road to riches unfurling. Chapter 5. The index fund revolution. Boring bets that build empires. Adrenaline still humming from the market's wild heartbeat? Good. Now we harness it. Channeling that raw energy into the quiet revolution that Collins crowns the book's crown jewel. Index funds. The unsung heroes turning novices into navigators of wealth's vast ocean. If Chapter 4 handed you the keys to the beast, this one's the owner's manual upgrade. Proving that boring isn't bland, it's brilliant. A stealth superpower disguised as simplicity. Hook you with this. What if the secret to beating Wall Street wizards wasn't outsmarting them, but sidestepping the circus altogether? Collins lays it out with evangelical fire. His words crackling like embers catching wind, making you lean in, eyes wide, as he reveals how low-cost indexes have quietly democratized riches for the teacher in Tennessee or the mechanic in Montana. Ease into the essence. Smooth as silk on skin. Index funds mirror the market. VTSAX for U.S. totals. VT for global tapestries, spreading bets like seeds in fertile soil. No single stocks flop felling the crop. Collins' origin story hooks hard. Stumbling on Bogle's gospel in the 90s. Ditching active funds fees like shedding lead boots. His returns rocketing as if unchained. Feel that liberation, the whoosh of wings spreading? It's the awe of accessing the same engine that propelled Rockefeller, but without the robber baron ruthlessness. Transitioning to the evidence. A torrent of data flows like proof from on high. Vanguard's low fees, 0.04%, versus Active's 1% plus vampires, sucking 30% of gains over decades. Example, $10,000 in an index versus managed fund, decades later. Index laps it by 6 figures. Compound interest's quiet coup. Collins' quip, fees are the only certain return, lands with wry smile. But the math stirs urgency. A fire in your belly to audit your own 401k. Now, the revolution's ripples, diversification as armor. Owning 4,000 companies from tech titans to corner stores. His '08 tail redux. Portfolio dipped, but diversified. Rebound swift, unlike concentrated carnage elsewhere. Emotion peaks. Relief's deep breath after storm. Gratitude for the guardrails. But don't skim. Collins counters critics with compassion. Lazy? Nah. Efficient, freeing brain for life. Example, daughter's IRA. Seeded small, growing gangbusters. Her excitement leaping from letters like puppy joy. Flowing to pitfalls, he warns of tinkering's temptation. Sharing a pal's sector bet's gone bust. Laughter at the hubris, lesson landing soft. Stay the course, let time till the soil. As peaks near, the hook renews. Indexes aren't sexy, but they're sovereign, building empires from espresso breaks invested wisely. Bridge to bonds and balance in 6. Engine tuned, now calibrate for the long haul. Ready to steady the ship? Chapter 6. Bonds, balance, and the 4% rule. Safeguarding your simple path. Pulse steadying from index glory? Perfect. Now we add ballast. Because wealth's not a sprint, but a sea voyage. And Chapter 6 charts the calm waters of bonds. Portfolio balance, and the 4% rule that crowns your castle. Collins tempers the stock surge with sage equilibrium. His tone like a captain's calm and chop. Growth needs guardrails. Or it careens off cliffs. Hook. Imagine retiring not to ramen regret, but road trips funded forever. What if 4% was your golden key? For the retiree in waiting in Arizona or planner in Pennsylvania. This is the safety net woven with wisdom. Start serene, bonds as stabilizers. Lending to governments/core for steady coupons. Less volatile than stock storms. Collins mix. Age in bonds, e.g. 25-year-olds 75/25 stocks/bonds. Gliding risk down life's glide path. Example, his shift post 50. Sleep deepening as bonds buffered bumps. Peace profound as a father's quiet watch. Transition to the rules revelation. Trinity studies gem, withdraw. 4% annually, adjusted for inflation. 95% survival over 30 years. $40,000 per year from $1 million? Sustainable, stocks growth refilling the well. Emotion, relief floods, tears pricking at, I can stop running. Deeper dive, rebalancing annual ritual. Selling high/buying low like market jujitsu. His 02-09 flatline hold. Rebalance harvesting gains, portfolio plumpant. Pitfalls. Sequence risk in early retirement drawdowns. Collins buffer. Cash cushion, flexible spending. Daughter's mock portfolio. Thriving through simulations. Sparks her glee in his prose. As summit nears, the balance sings. Simple allocations. Automated, freeing soul for sunsets. To sevens taxes/tweaks. Fortress firm. Now fortify against Uncle Sam. Horizon calls. Chapter 7. Fine-tuning freedom. Taxes, tweaks, and the FU legacy. Cresting the wave. Heart full from balanced bliss. Chapter 7 polishes the path. Tweaking for taxes and legacy. Ensuring your freedom endures like oak. Collins closes with crescendo compassion. This isn't end. It's eternal. Hook. What if your wealth whispered FU to drudgery? Echoing through generations? For dreamers in Detroit or Denver, it's the finale that feels like fanfare. Taxes tamed. Roth conversions. HSAs as stealth bombers. Example is IRA ladders, minimizing bites. Maximizing bloom, savings soaring. Tweaks for life. Windfalls invested, not squandered. His bonus to index windfall, compounding to college funds, joy in giving. Legacy's love, FU money's fire, 25x expenses for escape. Daughter's path, FI fueled, his pride beams. Choose boldly, my girl. Emotion crests, gratitude's glow, tears for paths paved. Phew, what a voyage, navigators. We've traversed the 7 chapters of the simple path to wealth. From that gut-wrenching wake-up to the triumphant tweaks that seal your legacy. Every word a stepping stone to unchained living. J.L. Collins' letters aren't just ink. They're lifelines, pulling us from consumerism's currents to FI's fertile shores. And if even one story stirred your soul or sparked a saving spark, mission accomplished. You felt the sting of debt's dragon, the thrill of index engines, the steady hum of 4% security. Now, what's your first move? Auto to spend, fund an index, or just breathe easier knowing the path's yours? This breakdown's your launchpad. Rewatch chapters. Grab the book. Join the FI forums buzzing with fellow travelers. If it hit home, smash like, drop a comment on your aha moment, and subscribe to Book Navigator for more maps to mastery. Freedom's not found. It's forged, one simple choice at a time. Until next sale, live bold, spend smart, and chase what sets your heart ablaze. Fair winds.